Welcome back to 5-Minute Knives, the channel that don't want no scrubs. Today, we're going to talk about a knife sent in to me. I really don't know anything about the Joker Bushcrafter. But first, let's sell you guys one of these custom Chidex sheaths. Okay, hopefully you guys bought a custom Chidex Sheath. And today we're going to talk about a knife I don't know anything about. We're not really going to talk much about the knife, but more about the sheath. This was sent in to me by my buddy Mauricio, customer of mine, who just picked this knife up. This is the Joker Bushcrafter. And I just saw in our old emails, he said it has a rough edge and he'd like it cleaned up a little bit. And you know, honestly, I think this one just needs ceramic rods. Hang on. Okay, USA, we're back. Now I got my work field sharpener here, and I'm just gonna sharpen the edges here while I yak at you guys. Like I said, my buddy Mauricio sent this in. Nice enough guy. And he said he just picked this one up. And he left the color options of the sheath open to me. You guys can hear that. It's getting a little more fine already. So this is Bowler N695 steel. The Joker Bushcrafter, made in Spain. Really nice, like, full flat grind on this. You can see the grind lines. Very attractive knife. I really like the micarta handle with the red liners. It's just a very sharp look. Lanyard hole there. Looks about a 4 and change inch blade. Really kind of perfect size for bushcrafting. I would like to see a knife of this size with like maybe a saber grind for a lot of your woodworking tasks. But as you can hear, the edge is kind of smoothing out on us here, and I know. You're supposed to alternate every other stroke. I know, guys. I know what I'm doing. Kind of. You could argue I know what I'm doing, a little bit. Either way, it's going to be sharper. I can promise you that. Sometimes I double up on the strokes on one side, because I can feel that it's a little out of whack. So, my method of sharpening knives is more just kind of by feel than really counting. I sort of do the same thing with weightlifting, by the way. I don't really count reps or anything like that. I just kind of pick up the heavy stuff. I concentrate on my muscle-mind connection, and then I put it down. Kind of same thing with the sharpness of a blade. I try to make sure I can feel where the edge is going, and then I kind of adjust the strokes accordingly. I mainly stick to these ceramic honing rods for a lot of these, especially this one. 695 steel is an interesting steel. It's a friendly steel to sharpen, although it can be a little willful. You do have to kind of let it know who's boss. And you have to be fairly precise in your angling. This is set at 20-degree angles, and just giving this a quick eyeball, it looks like the edge was somewhere similar. Oh yeah, babe. That's much better. So, from here, I just got a little stropping compound on this kind of very generic strop. You can get these cheap. And I just kind of give her a light, who's the boss, you know? You know, we're not doing anything too crazy here. Very light pressure, by the way. You don't want to dull it. You can dull it this way. Slightly different angle, by the way, too. A little more steep, since we're going away from the edge. And then, boom, bang, shabangabang. I didn't charge for that, but why would I? It only took a second. We could do it on camera. And that just feels already just much, much sharper to me. Much, much sharper. The only paper I have nearby is a letter sent in by a subscriber. I'm not going to cut that. But yeah. So this Kydex pattern, you guys know I don't do graphics because it leaves an imprint on my molding foam. And this was no exception. This made a permanent imprint on my molding foam. I don't know if it'll affect other sheaths. I haven't made one since in a light color. I made a black one where it didn't show up. But this was actually sent to me by Matt from Magnum Works. So shout out to Matt from Magnum Works. You guys know I make sheaths for him. He makes great tater digging implements. And there's your retention. It's a little... You gotta kind of give her a little push, but once she's in there, she's in there. You have a nice thumb ramp there. And that was like really the best way I could find to give you a good solid retention. So you really gotta let her know who's boss, and she's in. So resheathing a little stronger than draw, because again you have this thumb ramp here. You can just pull it out without the thumb ramp here, but there she is. So be a man about resheathing, and you should be good to go. There's your combat lube. And he said his buddy needed a sheath made for this kind of wild knife. Check this out. kind of crazy knife. Recurve shape. This is some sort of military commemorative in honor of those who have served by Maxam. I don't know what Maxam is, made in China. But it's an interesting knife. It's actually fairly comfortable, but you can imagine how tricky it is making a sheath for something like this. So here we go. And she's in. Okay, so with the draw, it's a little bit different. There she is. And if you have your finger here, it's gonna get stuck a little bit on your own finger. So you wanna draw from this position. She comes out very easy. So there's that. So thank you, Mauricio, for the business and sending in these knives to have sheaths made for them. I do appreciate it. This one came out really nice, by the way. It's very unique too. Like there's it's so weird with this kind of strange cross guard. So you can see I put like these kind of bunny ears right there. So if he wants, he can kind of draw pushing off on one of those, pushing off on one of those. It'll give him some purchase if he needs, but you can also push off of here too. So you have some options in the draw, but there you go. So there's that. Just wanted to thank my friend Mauricio for sending this in. Very interesting knife. Guys, I don't know anything about the Joker Bushcrafter other than it's Bowler N695 steel. It's made in Spain, but that's stamped right on it. So it does sharpen up fairly easy, I'll tell you that. And let me know what you guys think of this knife. I think it's got a nice feel. It's very lightweight. I really like the handle. It's very ergonomic. I think this actually would be fine for bushcrafting. Flat grind, good for food prep too. And just a nice clip point design, very classic design, and in a classic taco style sheath. Anyway, hope you enjoy, bud. Thanks for sending these monsters in. I do appreciate you. And then likewise, somebody was asking me about the Cold Steel Recon Tonto. I make these kind of fold over sheaths for those. Another nice fun sheath. Really enhances the blade if you ask me. Even if you have the base model at 50 bucks, I still think it's worth getting a sheath made for it because the knife is actually that good. It's a great knife for the value. That slight curvature of the blade makes this a hell of a slicer. I don't know, it's pretty badass if you ask me. The SK5 steel is comparable to 1095. It works just fine for digging taters, obviously. So there's a sheath for that. So yeah, a few beauties on the table, but let me know what you guys think of the craftsmanship of my sheaths. You know, come a long way since we started the channel. They're coming out pretty nice. So if you need a sheath made, email me at dragonscalejoe@gmail.com. Also educate me in the comments about the Joker Bushcrafter and let me know your thoughts on it, if you own it, if you have owned it, and whether or not you want it. Nice thin stock here too. Very handy little blade. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'm rambling, and I'll see you next week on 5 Minute Knives.